Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 47 of the Galactic Window Space Podcast. My name is Nick, and sometimes when I order Chinese food, I am known as the Orbital Alliance.
And I am still just Tan, also known as Jason the Milk.
That's the best I got, because Tan's not here. Robotan had to take over for a quick second. As you guys can see, or maybe not see because you're listening into the audio episode, I'm flying solo tonight, at least for a little bit. Tan is currently preparing to live stream the Lyrid meteor shower on TikTok. So he asked if he could kind of step away for the weekend or week. It's Monday, right? It's not a weekend. Step away for the week, and maybe he'll hop in when he gets a chance and give us a special view of his setup. He's currently traveling to a remote location where he'll be setting up Starlink and connecting to the internet that way so he can broadcast this beautiful meteor shower across planet Earth for all of us to enjoy. So if we are graced with Tan's presence, he will show up at some point very briefly. Other than that, you're stuck with me for the night. So for those of you who are tuning in live, appreciate you all. And hopefully you guys are willing to hang out with me. I know the show is a lot cooler when Tan is here. So bear with me the best you can. But yeah, let's check in with the chat. How are you guys doing? I see plenty of the regulars here. Many of the Milk Gang stopping by. Appreciate every single one of you for coming to hang out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're not solo, Nick, says JC. We're here with you. That's true. I love the perspective. Keeping it real. Here's a question. Hi, Jinx. What's the best time to catch a meteor? That's a great question. They're happening all the time. That's the thing about meteors. They happen all the time. You just can't see them very well in the daylight. And at night, you just want to be in the darkest skies possible, away from the moon. Closer to midnight and like those dark hours, like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., typically a lot of those dark windows of time where the sun's influence doesn't cause any problems. So yeah, but really anytime, like they can happen at any point. You just need dark skies to see them. But yes, thank you guys for joining us. I see 16 of you hanging out here in the live chat. That's pretty incredible. Those of you who's tuning in to YouTube and Twitch, fantastic. Appreciate your support on those platforms as we stream live like we do every Monday night. So if you're brand new here, my name is Nick, and I'm a content creator here on the internet. I love to make content about space and astronomy. I'm also an astrophotographer, so I do night sky photography of all different things. Milky Way, International Space Station, planets, random things like that. But I like to share those things with all of you. So if you do enjoy that kind of a thing, you're in the right place. You can come hang out here all the time. And there's plenty of good people right in the chat where you can fit right in, find a place to have some community around space and astronomy. And what we like to do on the show typically is we like to have guests who have influence in the world of astronomy or space flight or space exploration, like we did last week. And if we don't have a guest, we just talk about current events or things that we love to explore personally when it's myself and Tan. But you know, this week's no exception because we're going to be diving into a couple of current events that have been happening in the space world. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. So again, also like to chime in with the community here, do as much as I can to feature some comments from our friends here. Sue saying happy 50th episode. Thank you so much. We are going to be celebrating that in just a few weeks on May 12th. Episode 50 coming up, which is going to be very, very exciting. Yeah, so the Chinese food reference, for sure. Let's talk about that. So at the top of the episode, I mentioned when I get Chinese food, my name is the Orbital Alliance. Yeah, so I had Chinese food tonight. Funny story about that. I went in to go pick up the food because he placed an online order. And I went in and I picked up my food and the lady behind the counter goes, like, she's like, "You are very handsome." I was like, "Oh my gosh, what?" She's like, "You're very good looking." I was like, "What's happening right now?" So I had this funny story. She's like, "You're very tall." I'm like, I am tall. I was like, it helps when I reach for things on the shelf. It comes in handy. But so Chinese food is on the mind. Apparently I'm popular with with Chinese restaurant owners. So, oh man, so funny. It made my day though. It was absolute riot. But hey, it goes to show though, like little comments sometimes just they can make people's days. So you guys, if you're looking for an extra dose of positivity, go the extra mile sometimes to just tell somebody something nice. Even if you don't know them, take the risk or do something helpful. Never know how that might change the outlook. Oh, it's so funny. China #1. Yeah, if Tan's not here, somebody's got to say it, right? Oh, that's so funny. Goodness gracious. But yeah, you guys, we were talking about episode 50 here. Let's bring that back around. So if you guys missed it last week, Tan and I announced something really special because we are coming up on our 50th episode, and that matters to us. And we wanted to do something really special for that occasion. We didn't want to just like sit here in our studios and do a stream where it's just the same old, what you've been used to seeing every week. So we decided, hey, let's do something cool. And we made a special announcement video where we talked about how we are partnering with Yerkes Observatory in Williams Bay, Wisconsin. And that is a very, very cool and prestigious historic site, which is the home of the world's largest refracting telescope. I've had a chance to be there before, and if you guys actually want to check that out, I do have a video on my Orbital Alliance YouTube channel. It's the 2021 Yerkes Observatory tour or something like that. I can't remember what I named it, but I did like a 20+ minute tour or something around there of the facility several years ago. I feel like I look really different in that video. I look like a child, but you should definitely check it out. It was a lot of fun. It was actually under renovations at the time, so things looked very empty. The telescope had a tarp over it to protect it from dust and debris. But those renovations are done. So Tan and I will be hosting the episode in the observatory and hopefully in the dome where the telescope is kept. So it'll be behind us during the show. And I do want to talk about a couple of details, maybe even like spill the beans about some of the fun parts that we're doing just to get you guys excited. But if you also missed the announcement video, I did post it on my YouTube channel as well. So it should be the most recent video. Go and check that out. It's like a minute and a half. But we had a lot of fun producing that and making it look nice and polished for you guys. Pardon me as I drink a sip of agua. But yeah, we are very, very excited for this because me having been there, I kind of have a sense for the building and the information on the site and some of the people there, having been connected with, and it was a pretty easy like choice to decide like, hey, where are we going? Like where should we do this episode? I was like, oh yeah, no, the Yerkes is absolutely it. And they have been extremely helpful and cooperative with us all along the way, ever since we kind of did the outreach, and we've been in constant contact with them, for a while now, and it's been great. So we're in the phase of ironing out some of those tiny nitty-gritty details, which is great. So like one of those things being that we decided to ask them, hey, can we do this podcast in the dome? Like, cause that room is huge. It's absolutely huge. They have concerts in that room. They've had musical concerts in there. And I was like, hey, it'd be ideal if we could set up, the look right in front of it and have the telescope behind us. But we also know it's like way up there. There's like a tower, like a multi-story tower with like a staircase next to it. It's that big. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a multi-camera setup, kind of like episodes, 22 and 38 of the podcast, I believe, where Tan and I met up in person. I think those are the numbers. Somebody correct me. But I went down to St. Louis, Tan came up here to Chicagoland, and, we did these in-person episodes with multi-cam setups. We're going to do that same thing, but we are going to add a fourth camera, which I'm really excited about. And that fourth camera is going to show the whole room. We're going to put this big 14 millimeter ultra wide lens that I've got on it, and it's going to be wide enough to see the whole dome, and you're going to see the telescope tower and the scope, and you're going to see us. You'll see like the whole setup. You'll get the behind the scenes. You'll see the lights and the cameras and everything, all the wires. You're going to see the mess that's behind the scenes, all in one shot. So we'll occasionally cut to that, which is going to be really exciting, kind of an ambitious look. But we appreciate sort of the creativity and adding to that. So we'll have a shot on us and our guest, Dr. Amanda Bauer, who's the deputy director and head of science and education at the facility. Will be interviewing her. So we'll have a shot of the three of us, Tan and myself and Dr. Bauer. We'll have an ISO shot of Dr. Bauer and an ISO shot of me and Tan, and then the full room shot. So I'll be live switching again with the magic fingers, and we'll be having a real good time as we do that. So we were emailing with them about making sure we could do it in that room. And they actually said, hey, the only thing that would keep you guys out of that room is rain. So we have to keep in mind that weather is going to play a factor. So as we approach this, you guys have to do all of your like rain dances or anti-rain dances, or say prayers, do whatever it takes, manifest your woo-woo juice. I don't know. Get on top of it so that we make sure we do not have heavy rain the day of the podcast on May 12th. So make sure Monday, May 12th at 9 p.m. Central Time in the United States is totally and completely clear skies. That's what we need. So that's kind of the thing. So they said that rain could be the case. Why? Because of the noise. It's this giant like metal dome, and it's just like bullets hitting steel plates. You know, they said it's equivalent to not being able to hear yourself think when you're in the room while it's raining. So I get it. Like that would be quite the distraction, even with our nice microphones, you know, with noise cancellation and stuff. It's likely that it would be a huge distraction. So yes, but we're gonna do whatever we can to have it be in the room. Otherwise, if it can't, we'll still be in the observatory building, which is quite large. There's many other rooms. I think there's like a library, and there's this beautiful rotunda in the entryway. This kind of a mini dome with these ornate kind of like sculptures and stuff on the wall. There's so many places we can go. We're not too worried about it, even though it would be disappointing to have to like shift everything into a different space. But I think it'll be a pretty slim percentage to have it be rained out, if you know what I mean. So, but yes, that's going to be cool. Let's see. There's also a full extensive video of the observatory by a man and woman called Love Nestor and the History of the Dome. Oh, Richard Jones dropping the video facts here. You guys be sure to check that out. It's a recommendation we got here in the chat. I love it. I have to check that one out. I don't think I've seen it. Very, very cool. What's up, Blue? Welcome in. How's it going? Yes, cool. So you guys, some of the other things we were talking about with episode 50, and this is sort of maybe the second part of the announcement that we're going to talk about tonight. And I checked with Tan. We're cool about it. We have the green light. We're going to do this. This was part of the goal that we had for the show, the episode 50 program from the very beginning. And we didn't want to kind of talk about it on the first night that we announced it. We're like, hey, let's talk about it when we have some more time. We had a guest last week. We had Herb Baker on, and we're like, hey, let's shift this into the following weeks. So the other half of the announcement is that this episode is not just going to be, you know, for fun, for us to just go hang out at a cool place and do an episode in a historic astronomical location. The other part of this episode, we wanted to do something extra cool with the community. So you guys, and Tan and I are a part of that. So we're thinking like this huge circle of our space friends. It's like, how can we include you guys and us like into this episode in a special way? But I also wanted to leverage that and see that as an opportunity for us to give back to Yerkes, because this is they're not only doing us a favor by allowing us to do this, they're providing staff and, you know, support for us to pull off this event. But we're like, hey, how can we give back to Yerkes in a special way? And we thought, let's turn this episode into like a community fundraiser where we can donate to the observatory. And here's why I think that matters. Number one, it's a historic site, and it had to be purchased from educational organizations like schools from that had currently had ownership over it for the past century and then some. But when the University of Chicago wanted to sell it, a private organization had to be formed, an entity had to be formed to purchase it so that it could be saved and restored. And they went through this multi-million-dollar fundraising process to restore the building and to enhance it for the future, like adding solar panels and new infrastructure, electrical infrastructure and networking infrastructure, redoing the brick and the probably insulation and just everything that makes an old building up to code and worthy of living for the next 100 years. So there's kind of these two facets that I really want to focus on. Is one is preserving the history of the building, because that's just cool. And there are very few places like it in the world, let alone in the United States. There's very few historic observatories like this. And when you guys watch the episode, or if you watch my previous video about it, you'll realize just how much has happened there and how many legends have done work there in the astronomy world. And just for that reason alone, it's like this place needs to still exist. It is this gem in the center of our country, and it needs to be preserved. And I think a lot of people are forgetting about it. There's that component, is preserving the history. But the other half I've already alluded to a little bit, and that is the preparation for it to live another 100 years. And I think that part is as important or more important, is like, how do we continue to make this building relevant and exciting for generations to come, like for the next century? And I think there's going to be a lot of potential for us to contribute to help with that. So we're like, that would be so cool. It's like not only a way to say thank you for hosting our show, but like pouring into them to preserve the past and build the future. What a cool thing to do. So we're actually going to be doing sort of a let's reach our goal sort of fundraiser moment. So I know a lot of you guys like to support our show here, and that's really, really special. And we love that about you guys, that you guys show up with gifted memberships and supers and all those really wonderful things. I want to ask if you guys are considering supporting us, like hanging on to that for maybe a couple weeks and pouring it into Yerkes when we get there, which I know is kind of a tall order, but I'm trying to think about the ways that if we are able to contribute to support the facility, this historic observatory, what is that going to do? Like, we already addressed it. It's like preserving the past, building the future. But I want to think about the people, like who is this for? You know, and already I just know all throughout the decades, there have been children who toured there on school vacation, or not vacations, field trips, vacations. Hey kids, let's go to Cancun. Like these field trips and tours. Families show up on weekends to see these cool things. Like, it's part of people's like getaways when they go to visit Lake Geneva, which is the big lake that it's on. Like, I think about the kids that go there and they get a chance to touch the night sky for the first time. They see a building that looks like this, that is rare. Like, there's no buildings like this anywhere else, at least not in the Chicago, Wisconsin area that I know of, other than like maybe a Capitol building, a state capitol or something. It's kind of a rarity, but like kids get to go there and they get their first glimpse of what it means to explore the night sky. Maybe they see a telescope for the first time. Maybe they look through a telescope for the first time, or they see pictures that were taken there, or learn about Einstein coming through there, or some of these legends like Carl Sagan, Edwin Hubble. Like, kids are going to get inspired to pursue space and science and astronomy for the very first time. And then they get to go choose their life path. Those formative years where they can change the world, through these little experiences. And I remember having some of those myself. Like, I remember in like second or third grade going into a local junior high that had an observatory on its roof and getting to look at the moon through it. Blew my mind as a kid, felt magical and unreal that there's this powerful ability to get in touch with the moon. Like, kids have been doing that at Yerkes for longer than I've been alive, longer than I think any of us have been alive. And that is such a cool thing. And I feel like that's not going to stop now just because it's 2025 and TikTok is cool. I think kids are going to continue to go there with their families. Kids are going to continue to go on field trips with their school or tack on a trip to Yerkes after a vacation. So I think every dollar that we're able to give to them is like pouring into the next child who might become the next Carl Sagan or the next Edwin Hubble, or I mean, just the list goes on. Subramanian Chandrasekhar was there as well. There's like these crazy names. These children going through there might be the next person, and they might make the next critical discovery for space and astronomy. So like your little contribution, my little contribution might actually make the difference to keeping this building going. Because I think it runs on donations. It needs that support. So anyway, that's my super, super long-winded answer, but I kept it long because I'm passionate about it and I do believe in it, and I'm going to be giving my support as well. So, I hope you guys can hop on that motivation train with me. I'm very excited about it, and we'll continue to remind you guys along the way over the next couple of weeks as we get there that this is kind of going to be one of the focuses. And we'll be doing sort of a live tracking of the donations during the program. And it's going to be a really fun time. And to kind of add in the kind of return here is more than just like donating and giving money to a good cause. We're going to do some reward systems for you guys. So the more participation we get, the cooler the rewards that we'll be able to roll out. So we're going to do like a tiered thing. So, hey, if we hit this like sub goal, this sub goal, this sub goal in a tiered fashion, like you guys will get opportunities to win some stuff. So we're going to be doing some giveaways for prizes, which is super fun. And if you guys have been participating in the show recently in the last couple episodes, we've been doing some giveaways and we've been having fun doing that. So that's going to be a really, really cool opportunity for you guys to get something back for your generosity. So keep that in mind, And I have completely neglected the chat here because I have been rambling. So, so let's see. It's for the children, Tanzanite. That's right. You also said, I remember you think in 5th grade, one of the larger towns had this astronaut display, and we went on a field trip there. That was my first spark of interest in space. Oh, so cool. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah. Very, very, very cool. Love you guys hanging out here. Steph giving the choo-choo. That's right. Hop on that motivation train. Very, very cool. So yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. I think Tan and I are gonna be doing a couple more videos, like side videos here over the next few weeks. We'll keep you afloat on some of the plans. But right now we're just getting gear ready. We've been buying some stuff. We've been borrowing some stuff, and we're doing like checklists and lots of phone calls to make sure we got everything we need, because there's gonna be a ton of details to make sure this thing works perfectly. So episode 50. Let's see. I think I got the banner here still. Here we go. May 12th, 8:30 p.m., episode 50 at Yorkie's Observatory. Marking calendars. It's not the original 9 p.m. time that we always have every Monday night. It will be 30 minutes earlier. So please adjust accordingly. Set an alarm. Don't forget. And we'll see you there. All right. Shift change here. Let's do this. We're 25 minutes deep. Let's bring in the goods. You guys, I think we have a special friend we can bring in. Chasing the milk in the house.
Testing. Can you hear me?
Oh, he got you loud and clear.
Oh, dude. This is wild. I didn't know if this was going to work.
Oh, it works, dude. Well done.
All right. Check this out. This is let me show you the view of the skies I'm currently at. Hello, everyone. We're about an hour and 20 minutes from home, and it's fairly dark here, but I'm going to try to switch over to my camera that's showing the sky, and
oh,
you guys can see it.
I'm going to drop myself out here. Hang on.
Okay. I wonder if we could, do you think I need to turn up the brightness on my end? Let me know if you guys can see that. I have my monitor pretty low, but let me move around and try to find some clearer skies here. So yeah, there's a thin patch of some C words, but it's mostly clear, and man, really, really excited. Let's see here. We got Coma Berenices here over to the right. I'm just going to pan around for you guys. Yeah, it is a little bit C-wordy. That's why it's kind of hard to see. Let me go a little bit to the north. Dude, what if we just saw a shooting star? Also, Nick, you look very tall and handsome today for some reason. I just thought I'd let you know. All right, we're gonna head to, oh yeah, it's a lot clearer here towards the north. Very cool. But yeah, this is my sky, y'all. Oh, we got a little plane. Um, it was such a pain trying to get everything set up. I had everything planned, but as some of you guys may know, sometimes things just kind of don't go the way you want it. But surprisingly, this works. I am streaming because of with the help of Starlink, and I don't know how well it's gonna work, but we're gonna try it. I've never done this. This is the first time. And for those of you guys that are listening, I basically am running my normal podcast setup just out in the middle of nowhere. And I wonder if I can show you guys my friends. I don't think you'll be able to see them, but maybe you can see some of their lights.
Tan, can you hear me now? Can you hear me in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. I'm gonna bring me back here. Okay.
Were you talking this whole time?
No, I think I was, but I wonder if when I removed myself from the stage, it didn't allow me to come through. So I decided to stop talking at one point. So I gave you a little chance to go for it.
Yeah. So yeah, you got some of my buddies. There's about maybe 8 or so people here.
Wow. Can you hear me now? Is that okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, there we go. All right, we found our mojo. Dude, this looks fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited.
So yeah, I think I got kind of cut off earlier. So let me reiterate for those of you who are tuning into the audio only version of the episode. Tan is on a remote site, far from home, in the middle of nowhere, broadcasting via Starlink, as you were saying. And that's such a cool view that he's giving us of the night sky, seeing lots of stars. Very, very beautiful. We can see constellations and shapes and some very, very beautiful images. So be sure to go back and check the video episode on YouTube. If you missed it this time around, no worries. But it will always be there for you to replay when you have the chance. So, Tan, this is wickedly sick.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Man. So how are you doing your video switching? Do you have a switcher?
I'm running OBS Studio. So I have another camera that's set up right here. And I was like, dude, I didn't even know if it was going to work, but here it is. I wish I could show you guys kind of my entire desk. It's a little crazy here, but this is basically the same setup whenever I'm at home. The only difference is I don't have the lights behind me, you know? Dude. But it can work out. Yeah, I don't need any lights. The brightness from the computer is just shining on my face. So
that looks fantastic. Are you going to get yelled at for having white light at some point by some other nerds out there?
I am isolated, so that's why all my friends are way over there. I just didn't want to be a distraction. But if they come over this way, I'm sure they'll try not to look too hard.
Right. What are you hoping for in terms of meteor count for the Lyrids tonight?
You know, not a huge amount, but really hopeful for some good ones. They say around 16 to 20, and that's given you have ideal conditions, right? Dark skies, no moon, no clouds. So I don't know. I'm gonna shoot for 20. I'm gonna shoot for 20, and then hopefully one fireball.
Sweet.
Did you bring your awesome chair? Yeah, I brought the gamer chair. No, I've got one of these. These little camping lawn chairs.
Dude, that's so cool. This is what I love about what we do, because we have the ability to set up a full studio in rural who knows where, not only capture an event like that with stunning clarity and vivid image, but you can broadcast it to the entire world, toggle your camera shots, and have like this beautifully sounding microphone all right there, just like you're in your house. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it looks great.
Technology, man. W science,
Did you say to do science?
W science, W technology.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can like just get up and go as well. Whenever the opportunity comes, like it's not like
Mhm.
you also didn't need to like get a broadcast van from like WGN or something to make this happen.
Yeah,
You're like, yeah, it's a Monday night. Let's just go. Load up the car.
exactly.
Put the family in.
Yeah, this is cool. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So good to see everyone in here too. We got a nice little crowd.
That's right. That's right. What do you think is going to happen in terms of like people at the site? Do you think you're going to do you think more people are going to show up, or just to people that you know?
It's just people I know.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just local friends.
Yeah, we've got 2 more on the way, and then that should be it. Any other car that pulls up will be a concern, because we are pretty remote.
Mm-hmm.
W Mets.
W Mets. Did you get a chance to listen to the intro of the episode tonight, Tan?
Yep, I was scrambling and listening. It was
I just pulled up an episode, a previous episode, and had you do your intro for me.
I love it. Love it. It was good. It caught me off guard because I was setting up, and then I heard myself. I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yes. Yeah.
Creativity
Score.
points, man. Yeah, that was good.
I was debating if I should like print out a picture of you and like hold it up, but I got lazy.
We'll save that one for another episode.
Yeah, for sure. I still think one of my goals and this is a bucket list item of mine, is to have myself printed as a full scale life size cardboard stand up. Yeah, the standees.
Man.
Mm-hmm. I really want one of those, and it's just gonna be me being a total goon. Like,
You're just gonna put it in every room of the house.
yeah. So I think you and I need to make one of ourselves, but send the other person the opposite one. So I'll have yours and you have mine, and then so that way, if there's ever a time where one of us is out from the podcast, we'll just have it standing by over here.
What do you guys think? Maybe we can sell them too. Y'all want these, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they'll sell like hotcakes, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be sick. Hey,
yeah.
Our ambition knows no bounds, right? And we will make it happen. I have the will.
That's a little creepy.
Yeah.
Not creepy enough.
Nope. Up the level of creepy, Tanzanite.
What would be creepy is somehow if we combine them, like you and I just fuse into one final form.
Do we do the DBZ dance, like the
fusion dance?
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh yeah, we got to be the other way.
How did this work? Promo shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the other thing we got to do. Maybe we should do that at Yerke's if we have some free time. Is do a studio shoot of us. Actually get some decent photography.
Yeah, we got to have a little fun. Fusion. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good. Oh my goodness gracious. Man, yeah. What you got? What does the sky look like right now? I see a plane.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
I'm gonna maximize the shot for everybody here in the chat. Here's Tan's shot a little bit more closely. I was checking it's probably too late for it's too late for the International Space Station to be visible, but also it's currently over like the Black Sea right now, so it's opposite side of the planet as we speak.
Yeah,
I just opened up my tracker. Was your sky like mine today, where it was just completely overcast all day?
It was mostly cloudy. Yeah, I was pretty fearful that it wasn't going to clear up.
Yeah, I mean, this looks great.
Mm-hmm. The only downside about this is, as pretty as it is for the audience, I cannot see anything because of these two monitors that are right in front of my face.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I unfortunately won't be able to enjoy it in person too, but just I'm gonna be blinded the entire night. But at the same time, it is cool to be able to spectate it as a member in the audience would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get the final experience.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Yep.
I just want to sit there and stare with you. I think the only thing missing is the mood music.
Yeah,
The
little hammock.
vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, if it weren't for copyright on YouTube, I'd be like, play some for us. But do you have a playlist set up for tonight?
The usual, the
Good.
huge.
The huge.
Shout out to Taz and all the veterans, the first responders, people on the front lines. Thank you guys so much for your service.
Yes, absolutely. Huge appreciation for the brave men and women serving the country that we all love so much. Very appreciative of all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Man, very, very cool. Yeah. So what time are you going live on TikTok, Tan?
It's set for like midnight, so still a little bit of time, but there's a few things that I need to work on. So I'm probably just gonna try to figure that out and then hang out with some friends.
I love it,
A little
dude.
bit here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had to stop by and at least show you guys the view for sure.
Yeah, dude. No, we're glad you did. I told everybody that you probably heard it. The stream suffers when you're not here. You know, you're way cooler. You add to the cool factor. You guys ever see Tan blush? This is it.
Dude, you know what? There will probably be a time where I will have to solo an episode, and I think that's gonna feel really weird without you here. Like if it's just me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
I know, dude. It is going to be weird. But I have no idea when that is going to be. So
yeah,
maybe I just have to be like hit by a garbage truck for that to happen. So who knows? Hopefully that never happens. And then you'll be good. You'll be made in the shade.
We don't claim that energy.
No, we don't. We reject it.
So yeah, we got what is it? Just a couple more episodes until our 50th episode.
That's right.
That's right around the corner.
We have tonight and then 2 more episodes.
Oh my goodness. A little nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Nervous.
I don't know. I'm like, the thing is it's going to be a really busy week for me ahead of episode 50. I have a huge annual conference that I do some video production work for.
Mm-hmm.
And I lead the media team at this 2-day conference, and it's so much fun. But I spend that whole week just living and breathing video editing. So I'm like, once I ship that video, it's like literally when you're flying into town. And I'm probably going to be delivering that video the morning that you arrive. And I'm going to go pick you up from the airport. So I'm going to be very stressed. So honestly, like it is going to be the like dessert after the meal is like doing the Yerkes episode. So I am less stressed about it than I am stressed, because if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm not that worried.
Good.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun. I think everything that we feel, it's going to be a lot more real. Just days before the event, and then once we're actually sitting there with the world's largest refracting telescope behind us.
Oh, for sure. It's gonna be very sweet. Sweet.
All right,
man.
All right, you're gonna be able to hold the fort.
I can do it. You bet.
You can do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got this.
Right. Yo, chat, don't go easy on him, all right? Just go a little easy on him.
Let me have it. Lay it on me. I can take it. I need dad jokes in the chat. Stat. Let's
Nothing
go.
but dad jokes. Well, enjoy the rest of the nights. Seriously, thank you everyone for being here. You guys are freaking awesome. I'm gonna try to see some meteors.
You're going to see meteors.
That's right.
You're
That's right.
going to see them. It's
That's
going
right.
to happen. Well, we're rooting for you, man. Have an excellent night, and we hope that all the milk gang brings the boys to the yard. Sorry. I mean, we hope that everyone shows up in your live stream. Is what I mean to say, and you can have lots of fun capturing those meteors.
I'm excited.
Mhm.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And everyone on. I'm gonna say this, but I'll see y'all on the other side.
Oh, guys, he said the thing. Yeah, he said the thing.
I felt weird. I kind of like it.
You're welcome to use it.
All right, I will. All right.
All right,
You guys
dude.
have a great night.
Rock and roll, man. Have a good one.
Peace out.
Oh no, it's just me. There's me. That was not so seamless of a transition, but that's okay. We roll with the punches. Well, that was cool. I mean, I knew Tam was gonna come by, but that was way cooler than I thought. He's got a sweet setup. Dang. I love the in the chat here from Day. It was a pretty bad joke. I'll own that. Well, you guys, let's shift gears in the remainder of the show here. We'll probably keep this one a tighter episode. Maybe I'll hang around for another 30 minutes if we have enough to talk about, but I think we do. I've got some space news I think is worth reporting. So if you guys can be ears to the sky here, let's sharpen y'all up with some of the coolest happenings in space flight and astronomy. And I've got a little list here that I want to make sure I hit as many of these points as possible. Tanzanite, thank you for doing that. I will check them out for sure. Yeah, so first up, SpaceX continuing their rapid cadence of space flight operations, launching with their ever reliable Falcon 9 rocket. That thing has been launching, gosh, what is it, since 2010, 2011, something along those lines. It's on its fifth iteration, the final iteration of it, known as the Block 5 version, and it's been continuing to deliver payloads, both governmental and commercial payloads, to low Earth orbit and beyond. Actually, even to lunar orbit, if I am correct. And I believe that is the case because I did see a Falcon 9 launch in 2022. It had the KPLO, which is the Korean Pathfinder Lunar Orbiter. So it does take payloads to the moon. I did see it. But SpaceX launched their 32nd cargo mission to the International Space Station this past week, which is, you might be like, oh yeah, whatever. It's the 32nd launch. Like, who cares? But I would say, keep in mind that every time we get another one done, it is fulfilling a contract that SpaceX was given by NASA to provide cargo services to the space station. So experiments, food, water, things of the sort, other random objects, like gorilla suits. If you're familiar with that, I can't remember if it was Scott Kelly. I think it was Scott Kelly had a gorilla suit up on the space station once so he could prank his crew members. It was one of his like special add-ons. He was able to fit within like the weight limits. Rocket flight. Those kinds of things get set up on these cargo missions. They do need to have fun because fun is important for morale. This contract is super critical to make sure that we can continue those human operations in low Earth orbit all the time. And if you remember from recent episodes, we talked about how we've had continuous human habitation of space since the year 2000, 25 years coming up here in November, where we've always had humans in space. We've never had a time since then where humans have not been in space. So there's a lot of work, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen to make sure that's the case. And SpaceX reliably delivering its 32nd mission, pretty big deal. And I think there's only been one failure at that one point. I think that was when it was, oh gosh, I don't remember, 2015 maybe, where the rocket blew up on the launch pad unexpectedly, or as SpaceX calls it, a rapid unscheduled disassembly, or a RUD. So if you hear that language, that's what that means. But it says here, the 30-second mission carrying over 3 tons of supplies to the International Space Station, supplies and scientific hardware. So research and experiments will be brought up aboard the Cargo Dragon spacecraft. You'll dock autonomously and uncrewed to the International Space Station. And then after its time is spent unloading all that cargo to the space station, they'll put a bunch of stuff back on the Dragon spacecraft from the space station. So used experiments, completed experiments, garbage, trash, things like that. They'll put them back on there, and the cargo, I keep almost saying crew because I'm so used to saying Crew Dragon, the Cargo Dragon will return back to Earth, and they can collect it, and they can redistribute those experiments back to educational organizations and different scientific entities that need that research back. So very, very cool. I thought it was worth noting. So hopefully you guys find that interesting. Let's see here. I was reading about this. I actually missed this in the headlines, but here we go. NASA's Lucy probe has completed a flyby of asteroid Donald Johansen, I believe is what they're calling it. So it says NASA's Lucy spacecraft conducted a close flyby of the asteroid Donald Johansen at 596 miles, serving as a rehearsal for its mission to explore Jupiter's Trojan asteroids over the next decade. So if you guys remember when the Lucy probe launched, it's finally doing some stuff. And they said rehearsal. It's kind of like a little bit of a practice maneuver as it moves its way towards its final mission, which is to get those pictures of Jupiter's little asteroid moons there. So pretty cool. Very, very cool. So I always find it exciting to pay attention to those deep space missions, and by deep space, I mean missions that go beyond low Earth orbits. So that's like just above the Earth and not quite to the moon, but everything past that, you know? So here's another one. This is probably the biggest one, and I'm going to bring it up here, is astronaut Don Pettit has been on the International Space Station as a crew member for the past 7 months, which is a pretty big deal. And if you guys are familiar with his name, it's no surprise because he has flown, this is his 4th mission into space, and he is now currently NASA's oldest active flying astronaut. So he just turned 70 the other day. So he turned 70 in space and came home. He just returned home. He's back in Houston. He flew aboard a Soyuz, I believe, and he landed in Kazakhstan, where the Russian Soyuz craft lands. They land on land. They don't land in the water, which is very, very unique compared to American spacecraft with humans on it. So he safely landed. And you might be familiar with his name because he is probably the most accomplished space photographer ever. Like having been in space and taken ambitiously creative photos, time lapses and star trails and northern lights photography and these beautiful composites. Like this dude is a legend, and he's also an inventor. So he's created all these amazing little contraptions that assist with his photography to either stabilize cameras against the movement of the station or to compensate for lighting constraints of planet Earth and the night sky, and maybe one or the other or both. The guy is really a legend, and the fact that he got to go one more mission at this stage of life was remarkable, and he got to spend 7 months up there. He actually got to overlap with kind of his protege, Matthew Dominic, last year, who is sort of the up-and-coming version of Don Pettit in terms of like carrying on the legacy of his photography. Also a very ambitious photographer. I believe we've actually talked about Matthew Dominic on the show. So seeing Don come back, it's like the end of an era. And I actually remember reading a book back in college called Too Far From Home, I think. It was about the early days of the space station, and it was just a few modules. And I believe Don Pettit was on the space station at the time in 2001. And if you guys remember, there's a very historic moment that happened in 2001. He was on the space station during 9/11 and was actually like stuck up there because they paused space flight. They couldn't get them back home safely because they didn't quite know how to handle the spaceflight scene, considering the commercial airline scene was not very safe. Because if you remember way back when, like airlines shut down for a while, they didn't know how to handle security and safety. Like even spaceflight was kind of not safe. So they kind of got delayed up there. And Don was up there during that time, I believe. And I should probably fact check myself here. Let's see. Missions. Let's look it up here. Expedition 6. Yeah, that's pretty early. 2002. Maybe it was oh no, was it a 9/11 or was it the Columbia? No, I'm sorry. Hang on. Fact checked myself. Worth it. Let's do a little bit of a rewrite here of everything I just said, you guys. I'm going to own this one. It wasn't 9/11. It was the Columbia disaster. That makes sense. That makes way more sense because he was up there during 2002 and 2003. So they halted space flight with the space shuttle. Boom. There it is. So he was stuck up there for a little while because they didn't have a safe way to get home. They couldn't guarantee the safety of the space shuttle. That's what it is. So Don has kind of seen it all. He's flown the space shuttle and the Soyuz. Legend of a dude. So definitely go look up some of his photography and perhaps read that book. I think it was called Too Far From Home. Yeah. It's Too Far From Home, A Story of Life and Death in Space by Chris Jones. So if you guys are curious to read more about that, of him being stuck up there after the Columbia disaster, that's it. So again, please write all that nonsense I just told you about 9/11 out of it. It's been like 20 years since I read that book. So, but yes, anyway, moving on. We already talked about this too, because Tan was in here a few minutes ago, but the Lyrid meteor shower. You guys, if you have clear skies tonight, that is a cool thing happening in the night sky that's free to watch. Go out at the darkest parts of your night and make sure you go look up, spend the time enjoying the night sky. And this can be done, wherever you are. There's a chance even in a city that you might see a meteor. But try to get as removed from as many immediate light sources as you can, like house lights or street lamps. Go out into a field somewhere, go drive your car into rural country, turn off your headlights, turn off your phones, let your eyes adjust to the dark skies, and watch and wait patiently for maybe just even a tiny little meteor streak to happen across the sky. I know Tan would be very happy to hear all of your exciting adventures as you go out to look at meteor showers, because those are some of his favorite things. So, yeah. And if you do see a meteor, let Tan know. I need you guys to let Tan know. Tag him in a post at Chasing the Milk and share that love with him, because I know he would appreciate it. But that should be peaking tonight. And I'm sure you can see a few more over the next couple of days. So maybe if you got clouds tonight, tomorrow, there might be a few more meteors kind of coming through. That's the thing about meteor showers. Again, they're not there's not like one instant where the shower happens, like a rain shower, where it's like, oh, well, that lasted 10 minutes, like time to move on. No, it could be a little bit, because the Earth is moving through a cloud of debris left by a comet. In this case, it's Comet Thatcher. So that comet blew through at one point, and now Earth every year passes through its debris cloud, and that debris goes right in our atmosphere, burns up, creates those little streaks or fireballs that you see in the sky, and you get a free fireworks show. Pretty cool. Chat, let's do a check-in. 13 of you guys still hanging out here. Appreciate you guys hanging out, even though it's just me. I know the vibes are a little bit less without Tan, but every one of you, I'm really glad that you're still here. Means a lot. Let me know how you're doing. What's happening on your Monday night? Share something cool, maybe something positive that would benefit the world. Like, what's something that's good that's happened to you, or maybe something that you made or did something that was cool. Share with us in the chat. What are you guys up to? It'd be super cool to hear what's going on in your lives. Yeah, good call. Blue saying, and if you see one, don't forget to make a wish. That's true. That is very true. You never know what might happen. Goodness gracious. Here's a little Mars research update on the news front. Using NASA's Perseverance rover, researchers analyzing Martian rocks in Jezero crater suggested that Mars's complex volcanism could provide clues about its ancient habitability, advancing astrobiology studies. So Mars 2020 rover, also known as Perseverance. I do have a Lego. Yes, I do have a Lego of it because I'm 5 years old. This little guy here. Here we go. Here's my Perseverance rover Lego, but the focus is like too sharp here. Has all these wonderful instruments on it that help study the surface of Mars, and they purposely landed it in this basin that is a dried up lake bed, and they're just hoping that there are materials from ancient lakes that might be like the building blocks of life, like things that would support life, hydrocarbons, things like that. So this thing is taking samples and studying, the volcanism, which I think that's what's cool. Is that they're researching some of the new data collected from Martian rocks in the crater, and suggesting that the volcanism in the area could provide more clues. Like that's the benefit of sending robots to planets, is that we get a chance to dig and just sit in the comfort of our own homes and click away, and we get these beautiful pictures and these studies done where this thing has drills. It can drill into the surface of Mars, and it can pull up this dust, and it has little labs on top of it, and it can put this dust and this material inside of it, and it can process it and then send that data back like 80 million miles in the other direction, and or whatever the distance is. And then we can see it without having to send anyone there, without having to risk human life. What a cool experience. And it's happening right now. And I would probably argue that very few people have any idea this is happening. Most people have no idea that Perseverance is operating on Mars, or that Curiosity, the other large rover that looks just like it, is also in a different place on Mars exploring it. So amazing. It's going to be no doubt an exciting next chapter for Mars, because I think once we do get a closer look at some of these locations like Jezero Crater up close, it's gonna shed some light on some really cool moments. And one of the things that Perseverance is doing was it took test samples and put them in tubes, and then sealed the tubes and dropped them to kind of like deploy them on the surface, so that one day we can go back and collect those samples when we put boots on the ground. Humans show up, we'll go over there to those sites and pick up those little test tubes, bring them back to a Mars deployed human laboratory, and get a real good human look at them. Hands-on science is going to happen very soon. I would argue in the next 50 years that's probably going to happen. So very, very cool. Tanzanite dropped in here saying it's crazy to learn that after the first astronauts who walked on the moon were put into contamination for 2 weeks for moon bugs, in quotes. Yeah, they were put into quarantine because they didn't know what sorts of creatures might exist on the lunar surface that we've never seen up close before. So they put them in quarantine, and you can see the videos of it where they're like in the windows, like waving at everybody. Very, very interesting seeing Neil, Buzz, and Michael Collins in there, because even though Michael Collins didn't go to the surface, he was hanging out with them, and he was with all their gear and all the samples and all the crazy space dust, lunar dust, the regolith that got on their suits. And it was, you just didn't know, you don't know what you don't know. And then they eventually determined, hey, it's safe. There's nothing there. You're good. So the outfits they had to wear immediately afterwards are crazy. Oh, I don't remember what the outfits look like, but I'm assuming if it's anything related to quarantine, it's probably pretty ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Cool. Yeah, well, let's take a look here. Let's see if I got anything else on the list of space things. SpaceX Falcon 9 launches for NRO. Oh, nice. Okay. SpaceX launched the Falcon 9 rocket carrying a classified payload for the National Reconnaissance Office from Vandenberg Space Force Base, California, marking its 10th batch of proliferated architecture spy satellites. Ooh. That's the thing about being a private company like SpaceX and a launch provider is you take contracts when you get contracts. And sometimes it's your own stuff like, hey, SpaceX is going to launch its own satellites, Starlink, and help Tan do his live streams from the middle of nowhere. Other times you're launching people like the Commercial Crew contract for NASA. Like, hey, we need American launch provider to send astronauts to the space station. Other times it's, hey, we're the government and we want to watch people launch our satellites, please. So that's pretty exciting. I'd be curious to know what the current launch cadence is this year for Falcon 9. Have launched in 2025. Well, in the first 4 months of 2025, SpaceX has launched 45 rockets, including 43 Falcon 9s, 0 Falcon Heavies, and 2 Starships. So 43 Falcon 9 rockets have launched this year, which is pretty ruthless. I think, if I understand correctly, they're trying to go for over 100 in a calendar year. So that's pretty ambitious. No one has done that ever. Not even a government agency has launched that many rockets in 1 year. So it says a lot for what they're doing there at SpaceX. And opinions aside, it is a remarkable company doing things that humanity has never done before. So even though it might get a little bit boring watching the same rocket launch and again and not having any problems, or very few problems at least, and just be like, oh, it's another Falcon 9. Like, that's the best news you could possibly hear. It's like, okay, another Falcon 9 and another Falcon 9. You know, it's never getting to the point where it's a rarity, you know? So I think that's pretty cool. You guys, let me know in the chat if you're still hanging out with me, you're still watching. What's your favorite vehicle, space vehicle? Is it a space shuttle? Is it the Apollo capsule? Maybe it's a Falcon 9 and a Crew Dragon, the International Space Station, the Russian Soyuz. Like, and if you don't have a favorite one, maybe post something in the chat. Let me know what's a spacecraft you want to learn more about. Maybe you just heard the name. You're like, I don't even know what a Soyuz is. Let me know in the chat. Or if you're watching or listening after the live stream today, maybe drop a comment, come back to the video and leave a comment on the video and let us know. Curiosity on Mars. Very, very good one. Yeah. Again, just like this little, it's like the size of a small car. Curiosity rover on Mars. Very, very cool. I have a little children's book talking about Curiosity's birthday. I think there's like, it's like a little sweet story about inviting you to Curiosity's birthday party on Mars or something like that. It's a lovely book. Mars robots. Man, a lot of love for Mars robots in the house. You guys know mine. It's back here, the International Space Station. But I'd say the space shuttle has a special place in my heart as well. You know, because I mean, it was around for 30 years and it created this legacy of reusable space vehicles, gave us a glimpse that perhaps maybe Star Trek wasn't that far away. We could launch 7 people at a time, international partners collaborating, Russians, Americans, Japanese astronauts, and so on, all fitting into one vehicle, having this beautiful view, being able to build a space station with it. Very, very amazing vehicle. And I think up until a point, also the most complicated flying machine ever built, guaranteed. And that's a very, very rare thing that you can say. And I have now had the pleasure of seeing all 3 remaining space shuttles with my own eyes in their respective museums. So if you do not know, you can go see all of them. And there is a bit of an asterisk on that because there is technically a 4th. But we'll get to that in a second. So Shuttle Atlantis is viewable at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex down in Florida. So if you go to watch a rocket launch or just want to visit Kennedy Space Center, you can actually go into this beautiful building and they have this whole tailored experience. Magic, magic, magic. Do not miss it if you go there. If you see one thing, go see the Space Shuttle Atlantis exhibit, period. Every time I see it, I get teary in the eyes. Like I was like welling up and almost bawling the first time I saw it. Beautiful. In California, at I think the California Institute of Science, I think it's the name of it. They have Space Shuttle Endeavour, and when I saw it, it was just like flat and in this giant building, this hangar, and you can go walk under it or around it at least. And then I think maybe you could go under it at the time, but that's changing because they're currently stacking it vertically on a remaining external fuel tank, the big orange fuel tank. And you're going to be attaching some, I think either some remaining or artificial solid rocket boosters, the white side boosters. So they're going to be the first time a space shuttle has been stacked vertically outside of Kennedy Space Center in Florida for actual launch. But it's going to be in California in a museum. And then they're going to have a tower you can go up and you can look at it from like the height and get a sense of what it's like to stand right next to a fully stacked space shuttle. But that's been under construction for a couple of years. I don't think it's done yet. And I am very excited to go back and see it, which is cool. And lastly, the third one, Discovery, is at the Udvar portion of the Smithsonian Aerospace Museum in DC, Washington, DC. And I just saw that last year. Got a chance I had to go to a wedding in the DC area. And I was like, I can't go to DC and not see Space Shuttle Discovery. So I went there and saw it, and you can kind of walk around it. It's kind of just sitting there, and it's got all this other space stuff around it. Beautiful, fantastic. Now, I said there's an asterisk about the fourth one. Technically, Space Shuttle Enterprise was kind of this glider edition. It was not ready for space. There were no engines on it, but it was a demo of the gliding capabilities. They put it on the back of a plane and deployed it in the 70s. I believe it was like the late 70s to prove that it could work. And it landed, and it showed that it could land like a plane. Technically, that is in New York, and I have not seen it because I've never been to New York. So 4 space shuttles that you can see if you do want to go. And maybe I'll meet you there in New York for the Space Shuttle Enterprise. And just for facts and clarity, there were 5 shuttle orbiters. They called them orbiters. And of course, those final 2, Columbia and Challenger, were lost to tragedies, with crew on them at the time. So 14 American astronauts unfortunately lost their lives in pursuit of space exploration aboard those 2 orbiters, and both of them were lost in each accident. So those are you're not able to see them in their entirety. However, Kennedy Space Center in Florida has an exhibit with pieces of those the shuttles there. I think there's like some window frames and like a side panel and a couple of little bits. Very, very somber experience. Very, very present. Like when you walk into that hall, there's a little side hall you can go to. It's like a memorial hall for it. Humbling, sad, and heroic all at the same time. And also worth seeing that portion there. So worth the time, 100%. Does Johnson have a copy of Endeavor? I could have sworn we saw it. I'm glad you brought that up, because in Herb's book, he talks about this. There is a shuttle mock-up in Houston at the Johnson Space Center. So it's not an actual shuttle, but it's a faithful recreation of one. I think they got the original blueprints to the shuttle. There was some company that wanted to reproduce it, and I'm struggling to remember the name. Is it Independence? I think it might be called Independence. So there is one there that you can see. And I think one of the things they were talking about, and Herb mentioned this, was when they were decommissioning the space shuttles in 2011, they were deciding where each of the shuttles would go. And people were lobbying for them to be at Houston. We're like, of course a shuttle has to come to Houston. Houston, we have a problem. The notoriety around Apollo 13 and it being originally the manned spacecraft or space flight center, then Johnson Space Center, like it's where all the astronauts train. Like, why wouldn't they have a space shuttle there? So they didn't end up there, of course, and they decided, well, we can give you the giant jet that flew the space shuttle across the country on its back. And I'm struggling to remember if that was a 747 or what type of plane it was. But they got that plane, the shuttle carrier, and and they decided, hey, we should showcase this plane. It needs to have a shuttle on it. So they created a faithful recreation of it and stacked it, I believe. So correct me, is that what you saw? Okay. Joe dropping in the chat here, seeing Star Trek Enterprise would be sick. Dude, no kidding. That'd be awesome. One of my favorite moments from the 2009 reboot of Star Trek was that shot when James Tiberius Kirk rides up to this construction site, and they're in the distance, like in the middle of Iowa, and they're building the Enterprise. And it's this like under construction monstrosity. And it just gives you the sense of scale for how huge that thing was. So yeah, I think it'd be pretty insane to see it. Yes, it is. Okay, so it's stacked on the plane. So that is a unique thing you can go see. You can go see Shuttle Independence, kind of the fake space shuttle. Man. You've been to Iowa before? Right. That's true. Oh, man. Oh, I love it. You love how my shirt matches my wall. Thanks for noticing. I have my James Webb Space Telescope shirt on tonight, and I was like, I got to put a little splash of gold in the room tonight. I don't usually do gold in my colors. I'm like thrilled somebody noticed. Thank you for calling that out. That's super cool. It worked, guys. It worked. First, the lady at the Chinese restaurant, now the chat coming in. Oh my goodness. Gosh, that's so cool. Well, you guys, I'm thinking maybe this might be a good place to wrap up. Coming in around a 75-minute runtime here on this episode. I like that. That feels good to me. So I'll just kind of recap some of the fun stuff that we talked about tonight. So you guys, episode 50 coming up in 3 weeks, 3 episodes from now. Episode 50, our big celebration at Yerkes Observatory. Be sure to mark your calendars. May 12th, 8:30 p.m., not 9. It is 8:30 p.m. right here on YouTube. Also viewable on Twitch live. Or you can catch the audio version of the episode on your favorite podcast platform, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or Amazon Music, whatever you prefer, whatever butters your toast, as I like to say. And we'll have a good time. And one of the things we talked about tonight, again, we're going to leverage the opportunity to give back to the community, to give back to Yerkes Observatory, to help preserve the past and build into the future of astronomy that's happening on site there. So you guys, save your pennies. If you've been waiting for that cause, that you're like, hey, I don't know what to give to. I always wanted to be generous in some way. I don't know what to give to. This might be that thing. It maybe is, but consider it. Think about it. It doesn't have to be, but consider that maybe this could be a cool thing. Like giving to the preservation and building of space science, astronomy, pouring into children, little kids who will get excited about space for the very first time. Every single penny we give is going to help keep that building alive for just a little bit longer. And if we can help it get to that next century finish line, then we will have done our job. So I think it's going to be a really cool thing that we're going to do is kind of come together as a community and be able to fundraise for Yerkes as we are there doing this really cool show together. So we'll all be hanging out and having a good time. And I can't wait. So it's going to be a blast. In the coming weeks, Tan and I are currently actually looking to book one more guest at least before that show. Try to have a fun time. So we've been reaching out to a ton of people, and we've been trying to find some magical booking experience here. Believe it or not, it is quite tricky getting people to be available. So we're trying our best to keep things alive here until Yerkes, but we'll keep you posted as we get in touch with more cool folks, which is always a good time having our guests on our show. If you missed last week, seriously, banger episode with Herb Baker. Guy wrote a book called From Apollo to Artemis, my 50 stories from my 50 years with NASA. Brilliant book. So much fun to read. All these like fun little anecdotes, as well as historical context from his time working in and around NASA from the 60s all the way to 2017. Dude has seen everything. Guy knows everybody. and we just had so much fun talking about it. So many great stories. So check out episode 46 if you haven't already. Very, very cool stuff. So I love it. Last thing that I'm going to ramble on about here, you guys, before I end the stream. Later tonight, Tan is going live on TikTok. And he's going to be streaming the Lyrids meteor shower. He gave us a little preview in this episode. If you're just tuning in, please go support Tan. If you're on TikTok, go find him at Chasing the Milk and tell him the Galactic Window sent you. We're going to reverse it on him. We're going to raid him from here, even though it's going to be in a couple hours. I think he's going live around midnight. So be sure to wake up and in the middle of the night, set an alarm and say hello to Tan. Show him your support. I know he would love it. Tan who? Yeah, I know. I love it. Yep. We need an emoji to spam him. Let's see. Is there a window emoji? I don't know if there is or not. I can't test that theory right now within StreamYard. So you guys need to confirm. If there's not a window, then maybe like a spam. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys got to use a window. Use the window. You guys are great. Absolutely great. All right, y'all. Gonna wrap up the podcast here. Next week, we'll be back for even more. Monday night, April 28th. Can you believe it? April 28th, 9 p.m. Central Time here on YouTube Live or Twitch Live. And you know the drill. We will see you all on the other side.